UFC 318, Holloway versus Poirier, the last dance. I'm going to be going through the entire card, starting at the bottom, working my way up to the top, giving my predictions and breakdown on each of these fights. So let's start with Carly Judice versus Nicole Cagliari. Now, I'm going to be honest. Some of these fights are going to be more quick than others because some of these just really aren't worth too in-depth of a breakdown, if that makes sense. So I'm going to go with Carly Judice here. Cagliari, she's going to be trying to force the grappling. She's not that great at it. Carly Judice at least has knockout potential. Carly Judice, I believe, is 1-1 in the UFC. Nicole Cagliari is 0-1. Now, it was a close split decision loss, but it was kind of one of those fights. It was kind of a stink fest, right? So I'm going to be honest with you. I think Carly Judice is more well-rounded, way better on the feet. Look for her to catch Cagliari. Let's go ahead kick round 2 for Carly Judice. Moving up, Bruno Ferreira versus Jackson McVee. Gonna go Bruno Ferreira. Bruno Ferreira has been in the UFC for a while. Jackson McVee is making his debut. I've seen a little bit of Jackson McVee. He is well-rounded. He has some good, tricky submissions. I believe he caught one guy in a Darce choke within like 30 seconds in a fight. Again, that was on the regional scene, whereas Bruno Ferreira, people forget, beat Gregory Robocop Rodriguez back in 2023. Has some solid wins in the UFC. I think he's coming off a win over Armin Petrosian. He's battle-tested. And he has that experience. He's heavy-handed. There was a fight, I believe. I can't remember the fight. I don't know if it was Petrosian or who it was. But it was a pretty back-and-forth fight before Ferreira eventually caught him. I need to look that up real quick. That's going to drive me crazy. Bruno Ferreira, it was Nicholas Stoltzfus, which that's a pretty solid win, man. That guy's a seasoned vet. He's dangerous. He's well-rounded everywhere. Ferreira was able to get the job done over him. And that guy has nasty submission skills, too. And almost caught Ferreira a couple times. Ferreira, powered through, eventually got the stoppage, right? Heavy hands, good experience. Jackson McVee is on short notice making his debut. This one's fairly easy to me. I'm going to go Bruno Ferreira. Probably first round knockout there. First round knockout for Ferreira. Ryan Spann versus Lucas Brzeski. For the first time, I'm actually going to pick Ryan Spann in this one. I mean, dude, 9-6. 9-6. His lone win in the UFC is over Walter Walker. When Walter Walker was making his debut, he beat him by decision. Since then, he hasn't won a single fight in the UFC. And if you look at Lucas Brzeski's losses, all of them have come by KO. Ryan Spann, I question his mental capacity. I question whether he's truly okay mentally, because he has all the God-gifted attributes to be a really solid fighter, a solid prospect, but he's just never been able to get it done. I mean, I don't know how he ever got ranked top 10 in light heavyweight. That is a bad look for light heavyweight. Just saying, right? It's so tricky because Ryan Spann has lost to Anthony Smith twice. Bad look. Bad look there. Bad look there. Lost his heavyweight debut. Bad look. Typically, these guys come up and dominate, right? I just think Lucas Brzeski is 9-6, dude. 9-6-1. I'm counting on Spann here to just kind of out-athletic him and catch him, right? Because he does have power. He does have athleticism and strength. I think he gets this one done. I think this is a layup for him. And if he doesn't get this one done, retire. So, honestly, retire. If you can't beat Lucas Brzeski, there's something seriously wrong with you. Go see a sports psychologist or retire, right? I'm going to go Ryan Spann. Let's go second round knockout. Jimmy Crute versus Marcin Prachnio. I'm going to go Jimmy Crute here because I just think he's more battle-tested. He has more experience against top-level guys, prospects. Fought Minifield twice. Went to a draw with him once. Went to a draw with Rodolfo Bellato. Has been chinned multiple times, but I don't know. Prachnio, I believe, has only one win in the UFC as well. So I'm kind of a lot of this is leaning into experience because these matchups are just I don't know. I don't know. This is kind of rough lower on the card in all honesty, but I think Jimmy, he's just more battle tested. I think he's going to get this one done. I don't see any threat that Prachnio can really pose to Jimmy Crute that's going to be cause for concern for me. So I'll go Jimmy Crute. Jimmy Crute by. Let's go third round TKO. Third round. I was gonna say submission, but I don't know. Third round TKO for Jimmy Crute there. Adam Fugit versus Islam Dulatov. I mean, first of all, man, like, come on. I know these guys are independent contractors, but these guys technically are working for your business. They're representing the business that is the UFC, and you can't even be bothered to fucking update the stats. This guy's not 1-0. This guy's got like 10 finishes in his career. I was looking up some of this guy's fights, some of his highlights. He's nasty. Islam Dulatov is nasty. He's got that kind of one-punch power. He's nasty on the feet. Fugit's okay. He's not bad, but dude, Islam Dulatov, like, you could just tell, look at this guy. Look at this motherfucker. This guy was born and bred for war. He's a mean bastard. I mean, dude, you can't pick against a guy with that kind of... Look at this guy's face. There's no way. I think he's going to hurt Fugit early. I'm going to say round 1 or round 2. Let's go round 1 KO for Islam Dulatov. I think he's going to steamroll through him. Look, I know it's his debut, but like these Russian guys don't give a fuck, man. They don't care about that. They don't care about that. Like, there's nothing mentally that's going to hold these guys back from underperforming. They rarely do, right? They rarely do in these kind of scenarios, right? It's not like he's being thrust into a top 10 fight or anything like that, or a top 5 or something like that, or a Kaya Sakura where he just got a title shot instantly. So, I'm counting on Islam Dulatov. I think he gets this one done, round 1 KO. All right, Ateba Gautier versus Robert Valentin. I mean, this is an easy one. This is an easy one. Ateba Gautier is a fucking wrecking ball, man. He's a wrecking ball. I know there's a bit of cause for concern with cardio, but I believe he, in his last fight, I think it went to round 3, and he's a very measured guy. He's a wrecking ball. He hits like a truck, but he's measured. He's technical. He picks his shots. He doesn't just swing for the fences like a lot of these big guys do, right? Valentin, I don't know, man. Watching The Ultimate Fighter with him had me feeling like this guy was going to be the next superstar, right? I mean, he just looks like, I don't know, man. He looks like a character out of Assassin's Creed Valhalla or something, right? Like, he looks like a motherfucker. Like, like a tough bastard. But since The Ultimate Fighter, it's just been, I don't know, the guy's grappling is shit. I mean, come on, dude. Like, again, it's like I talked about on my last recap of the card. These guys, when people shoot takedowns on them, I think it was Therese Vinny, which, I mean, I don't even know if that guy has a job anymore in the UFC because he's so shit. All he does is wrestle. And look, as a wrestler, I'm a fan of the grappling. I appreciate good, solid grappling in the UFC, but that was just too much, man. But again, Valentin had no answer for that. This guy just kept shooting. A lot of those are shitty takedown attempts, too. He just kept diving on the legs. Robert kept reaching. He has this bad habit of reaching over for a Kimura when somebody has a takedown attempt on him, either a single or a double. And I can't express to you how fucking stupid that is. Pummel under, dude. Jack him up. Get him off your hips. Throw an elbow in close like you did on The Ultimate Fighter, right? Like, what happened to that guy? What happened is he was fighting cans, and now he's fighting real competition, and he just can't hack it anymore. I don't know. And then Valentin, he doesn't seem to have that usual pop that he used to have on the feet. Again, that's because he was fighting cans on The Ultimate Fighter. I just think he's damned if he does, damned if he don't in this fight, right? Because he's not a grappler. He's not going to take a Taba down. I don't think he gets a single takedown at a Taba. Something tells me I can't remember. I've only seen a Taba fight once. Really good on the feet. I think he might have stuffed a few takedowns, but you can just tell like Robert Valentin does not have the technique, the takedown ability. He's going to try to drag. If he does try to take the fight to the ground, he's just going to try to get that stupid ass jiu-jitsu body lock that doesn't work to get takedowns. And Ataba's just going to easily shrug it off because clearly he has a strength advantage. I think this fight's going to play out on the feet a lot, and Ataba's too nasty on the feet, man. He's too good. He's too technical. He's too powerful. I think he's going to put him away probably round 3. Robert Valentin is tough. He's durable. I know he can survive pretty well, except for on the ground, like against Ryan Loder, where he got, was it Kimura or rear naked? It was one of the two. So, hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Ateba gets him on the ground early and submits him. And it ends in round 1. I think Ataba's going to stick to the feet. I think he's going to pick him apart. I think Valentin's going to have no answer for him. And I think he's going to go out in round 3. I think he's durable enough to kind of survive, maybe grab a hold of Ateba and, you know, clinch him, avoid being KO'd too quickly. No, actually, you know what? I think round 2. I think he's going to get shrugged off. Honestly, I don't think there's anything he can do here. I think he's going to try to clinch. I think Ataba's going to push him off easily. And I think probably he survives round 1. Round 2, Ateba puts him away by knockout. Francisco Prado, Nikolai Veretnikov. Man, it's just one of those fights. I'm going to go Prado. Both guys aren't that good. Prado's more durable. He's okay striker. I mean, he got... durable is an understatement. Because Daniel Zellhuber put a whooping on this boy. Bad. Like, he beat the living shit out of Prado for 3 rounds straight. Prado was still in the pocket, swinging back, landing here and there, you know. I just think he's going to out-tough Nikolai Veretnikov. I just think Veretnikov is shit. I think it's a tough man's battle here, honestly, because the skill is not very high on either end. I think this is a who's tougher battle, and I think Francisco Prado is more durable, a little bit more proven, can actually mount a bit of an offense, whereas Veretnikov, not really. So, how's this one end? I'm going to say Prado. I'm going to go Prado by decision. I'm going to go Prado by decision. Yeah. All right. Marvin Vettori versus Brendan Allen. A fight that started in the casino. I think Allen cheap-shotted Vettori. That's how this whole thing started. There's been beef for a while. There's been shit talk on both ends. Yeah. So I'm going to go Brendan Allen. And I'll probably go decision. Marvin's a super durable guy. We all know that. It's damn near impossible to finish that guy, you know? I mean, Robert Whittaker couldn't finish him. Izzy couldn't finish him. You know, and Vettori's got better wins in the UFC, a lot more experience, but dude, like, that's not the same Marvin out there anymore. Like, he's a punching bag. He's just a punching bag now, man. He's just, I don't know, dude. Losing to Dolidze in his last fight was a super bad, especially by decision. It's not like he got heel hooked and was beating the shit out of Dolidze and got heel hooked or got clipped with a punch and put away. That would have been better. He got out-pointed, outworked for 5 rounds. Was it 5 rounds? Was that a main event in the Apex? I think it was. He got outworked, outpointed, outskilled by Roman freaking Dolidze. Now, look, I know Brendan Allen's on a skid, right? Dropping it to Nasruddin Imavov. No shame in that. Anthony Hernandez, honestly, no shame in that. And those were actually competitive fights, right? That first round he won against Nasruddin Imavov, right? He got the body lock, got him down, controlled him for a while on the ground, and then, dude, I don't know what happened to the cardio after that. He completely shit the bed, and then, you know, he got his ass kicked the rest of the fight. That Hernandez one was a super close fight, dude. That was an awesome scrambling match. He just got outworked, outpositioned a few times in a few of those exchanges, right? Like, I think he kind of does dumb shit where he goes submission over position sometimes, and he will dive for a submission and end up on bottom position bars. And it cost him the fight, man, and that's what cost him the fight because Anthony Hernandez was content to work position over submission like he always does. You know, when he breaks people, he gets them on the ground and he breaks them. Brendan Allen is the kind of guy to take you down, be beating your ass on the ground, and then dive for a guillotine or something, right? He does dumb shit like that. But this is just a super winnable fight for him, right? Like, this is a super winnable fight. Marvin's a punching bag. I do think it's going to be a bit hard to take Marvin down for Brendan, but I think Brendan could probably outstrike him, dude. I mean, that's just not the same Marvin anymore, man. He's never really been good on the feet either. That good on the feet. So I think Allen, I do think it'll be decently close on the feet for a bit. I think Allen's going to find a way to like get on the back. I don't think he's going to like actually body lock slam him to the ground like Imavov or get like a solid double or a single and just drag him down. I could see him though like getting in a clinch situation and transitioning to the back, getting a hook in and kind of spider crawling his way onto the back of Marvin Vettori and controlling position there. He's got good jiu-jitsu, right? And I think it's going to be a decision for Brendan Allen. I think he's going to outposition Marvin Vettori in a couple scrambles on the ground. I think probably he can maybe outpoint him on the feet. It's not going to be as one-sided, but I think he outpoints him on the feet, outscrambles him on the ground, gets a couple good positions. Hopefully doesn't dive for some stupid shit and end up losing position in the fight. I'm counting on him to make better decisions here and work position over submission. So I'm going to go Brendan Allen, unanimous decision over Marvin Vettori. Kyler Phillips, Vinicius Oliveira. Yeah, I'm gonna go Vinicius Oliveira, dude. He's just proven like he gets it done, right? He's undefeated in the UFC. Beats I'm trying to think. His last fight was Said Nurmagomedov, and that was an impressive fight because like in his debut, he had a flying knee super quick, and whenever you're kind of a victim of your own success when you have a quick knockout in your debut. You get a shitload of hype, but then everybody starts asking the question, yeah, but can this guy grapple? Does this guy have a gas tank? And since then, he's absolutely answered those questions, especially in his last fight with Said Nurmagomedov. Decent prospect, good grappling, good striking. And he actually grappled a lot more in that fight, out-grappled Said to win a pretty dominant one-sided decision and just outwork him, right? He's got the cardio. He wore down Said Nurmagomedov. He's got the grappling. He out-grappled him, and his striking is nasty, right? He's just good everywhere. This isn't a guy that fumbles the bag. He's good everywhere. He's a solid, legit prospect, which is why he's getting an opportunity against a guy like Kyler Phillips. Look, Kyler Phillips is talented, but Kyler Phillips is a first-round fighter, and it's like, I'm so done, like, rooting for this guy. Like, it's like with him how it was with Bobby Green with me back in the day. Like, Bobby Green would, like, be on a loss and knock out, like, a top 10 guy, top 15 guy, and then he would knock out, like, another top 15 guy, and you'd be like, holy shit. So if Bobby Green can stuff takedowns, keep it on the feet, this guy could maybe rise up those ranks and get a shot. That would be super cool to see him get a shot. And then he gets knocked out by an unranked guy next fight. It's kind of the same with Kyler, right? Like, he'll go on like a 1 or 2 fight win streak, look really good against a decent prospect, you know, like a Pedro Munoz. Debatable, but a Pedro Munoz. Come to think of it, I think that's really his only legit win. But regardless, he'll have a 1 to 2 really good performances. Like, he's an athletic, explosive guy. And I think that works against him. Because I remember Firas Zahabi breaking down talking about why Conor McGregor always got tired after 1-2 rounds. And he said, when you have power, when you're explosive and athletic like that, you're never going to have a gas tank because you have that fast twitch fiber in your muscles. I don't know how much I agree with that, but it shows with Kyler. Like, This guy is a world beater in round 1. This guy will be throwing spinning kicks, head kicks. He's all over the fucking place. He looks world class. He's dynamic, athletic. He can grapple. He can do it all, right? And then round 2, he starts to slow down. He doesn't start to throw. He gets tired. Every fucking time this guy gets tired. So I'm done rooting for Kyler Phillips. At least with anybody legitimate in the division who's, a prospect or a contender. I'm done rooting for him in those fights. Vinicius is a proven guy. He's got multiple wins in the UFC. Good wins to back, right? So, yeah, I think he gets this one done. I don't think he's going to finish Kyler. I do think he gets a decision, though. 30-27. I think it's going to be one-sided. Don't be surprised if Kyler beats him in the first round. Don't be surprised if Kyler's, comes out really dynamic as always and completely falls off round 2 and 3. Don't even be surprised if that happens. We could see Kyler come out, look really, really good against Vinicius in round 1. Expect him to fall off round 2 and 3, get the shit beat out of him, lose a 30-27 decision. Michael Johnson versus Daniel Zellhuber. Oh, man, Michael Johnson. I'm a big fan of that guy in the knockout power, but it ain't going to happen here. It ain't going to happen. Zellhuber, proven guy. I mean, dude, coming off a crazy fight with Esteban Ribovic. Back and forth war. Probably needed some time off after that, but dude, Esteban Ribovic is way better than Michael Johnson. Daniel Zellhuber, I think he's undefeated in the UFC, I believe. Now Michael Johnson, he's always an interesting guy to watch because he does have that one punch power. He can put guys away. He's still got good boxing. He's still got it. Don't get me wrong. Okay, he lost to Ribovic. Sorry. Split decision to Ribovic. Beat Prado. Giagos is a good win. That guy was on a tear at the time. Okay, so maybe not the best wins, but you look at a guy like that. He's tall. He's rangy. Dude, he's got the youth. He's got the experience now. He's been in the UFC for a while. Dude, I didn't know Michael Johnson had that bad of a record. 24-19. Like, you want to root for Michael Johnson, but you look at that record and, dude, you have to call it for what it is. The man is a coin flip at this point in his career. At one point, he was a top 5 guy, top 10 guy, right? Zellhuber, I think, is a little bit too much. I think he's got the range. He's got the striking ability. I think he probably puts Johnson away late, round 3, from strikes. I'm going to go Daniel Zellhuber TKO. I just think he's a little long, too rangy. I think he's going to be popping him with the jab. I think Michael Johnson is going to be winging big shots. I think a lot of those are going to be missing. Don't be surprised if he lands a couple good ones on Zellhuber. I think Zellhuber's durable enough. I mean, look at the Ribovic fight. There's no question in this man's durability. Plus, he's got his feet wet. He's been in the UFC a while. He's got that experience. So, yeah, I definitely think he's going to get it done by TKO round 3. Dan Ige versus Patricio Pitbull. I'm going to go Dan Ige. Patricio's like 38 now. That's a death sentence in the lower weights. You look at him with Yair. He looked flat. I know they're similar size, similar build. Dan Ige is way more proven. Dan Ige's had way better competition. I'm sorry, Michael Chandler doesn't convince me that you're ready for the UFC just because you knocked Chandler out years ago. I don't know, man. I feel like Patricio's only chance here is to try to grapple. And even then, it's hard to grapple Dan Ige. You look at, like, Bryce Mitchell had a problem with that, right? I mean, dude, this is a guy that had a close fight with Lerone Murphy, prospect. Super close fight with Bryce Mitchell. Decently close fight with Josh Emmett. Yeah, I mean, dude, he's seasoned. He doesn't get knocked out. He's got a good chin. He's got dynamite in his hands. I mean, if you're going Pitbull, you're counting on him to land have that power to somehow put a guy who's never been finished, who has top flight competition, and Dan Ige away, right? I mean, he's coming off a win over Sean Woodson. Sean Woodson has power. Sean Woodson is a fucking gigantic alien of a man for that division. And he was able to knock that guy out and catch him, despite the crazy reach Sean Woodson had. Sean Woodson has way better striking than Patricio Pitbull. I don't care how controversial that is. I think Sean Woodson picks Patricio Pitbull apart from the outside for a decision. Okay? I think he jabs the shit out of Patricio Pitbull. And Dan Ige beat that guy. That guy was on a roll. He was undefeated in the UFC. Picking guys apart. Really tricky boxing. Really tricky guy to figure out. Tall, rangy. And he got it done. So, I think Dan Ige... Dan Ige puts him away. Let's go round 3. I think Pitbull's tough enough and durable enough to last till then. I wouldn't be surprised if Dan Ige puts him away in round 3. Round 3, KO Dan Ige. Kevin Holland, Daniel Rodriguez. First of all, like, dude, what are we doing? How do you go from Vicente Luque to D-Rod? Like, what? Look, don't get me wrong. No disrespect to D-Rod. Been in the UFC a long time. Was ranked at one point. But, dude, this is a step down from a guy like Vicente Luque. I think this is a pretty easy one to pick. Kevin Holland is going to absolutely beat the brakes off this guy wherever he wants. Honestly, crazy thing is Kevin Holland's ground game is super underrated, man. Super underrated jiu-jitsu. You know, we saw him go toe-to-toe with Gunnar Nelson, a guy who is known for his submission ability. He went toe-to-toe with him on the ground, stayed safe, beat him up on the feet, kind of beat him up off his back, too. We saw him Darce choke Vicente Luque, a guy who's known for the Darce choke. Dude, I think the grappling is there. If Holland wants it, I think he could easily submit D-Rod here. But I also think he can outstrike him. He's tricky on the feet. He's unorthodox. He's got really good elbows on the feet, being such a tall, rangy guy for the division. I mean, 81-inch reach for welterweight. That's crazy. So, yeah, I mean, I think he picks him apart. I don't think he knocks him out, dude. I'm honestly, I don't know. I don't know if Kevin Holland is starting to, like, wake up to the fact that he's got really good submission skills, right? Travis Lutter Jiu-Jitsu, and it shows, right? Like, I'm waiting for this guy to pull his head out and recognize, like, his ability and just start leaning into what makes him great. So I'm going to count on that in this fight. I think I'm counting on Kevin Holland to be like, you know what? This guy is susceptible to my submission. I can submit this guy. I submitted Vicente Luque, who has way better submission skills, who is known for the choke I caught him in. I went toe-to-toe with Gunnar Nelson on the ground. So I'm counting on him. I'm counting on him to realize that. And I think he's going to catch him with a... You know what? I'm going to go Darce choke again. I don't know. I'm not going to say Darce choke. We'll just leave it at submission. I don't want to get too bold here, but I'm going to go Kevin Holland by submission round 3, just because D-Rod is a vet. He is tough. He is a pretty durable guy. It's hard to finish that guy, so I just don't think Kevin knocks him out. I could see him decisioning him, but I'm going to go Kevin Holland by submission round 3. All right, so Paulo Costa versus Roman Kopylov. I got to go Roman Kopylov just because, like, I mean, Costa, that's just not the same guy, man. That's not the same guy. That's his last win is over Luke Rockhold, 40-year-old Luke Rockhold, when Kamaru Usman still had the belt. That's this man's last win. Look, he looked good in the first round with Robert Whittaker. Actually won that round, wobbled Robert Whittaker with a head kick at the end of that. I thought it looked good throughout the fight. I was actually impressed with that performance with Robert Whittaker, but again, he lost handedly. He lost handedly to Sean Strickland. I just don't think he's the same guy. I mean, honestly, we could go back through and analyze his entire career. Honestly, his career might be a bit overrated. Besides, like, the Yoel Romero win and stuff like that. I mean, dude, you're beating an old, fat Johnny Hendricks. You know, you're beating a 40-year-old Luke Rockhold. He's not that same guy that walks people down. and doesn't give a fuck and just lands on them with reckless abandon. Even if he was that guy, I think Kopylov is the wrong guy to do that with. Look, he's got to win over Kopylov's got to win over like Chris Curtis. Controversial, I don't know. That was kind of back and forth, but I think he's good enough to get it done against Costa. I think he'll probably decision Costa. I don't see him finishing Costa. It's hard for me to think Costa's going to get finished at this point. I mean, Robert Whitaker couldn't do it. I won't even mention Sean Strickland. That's kind of a bad argument there. But Robert Whitaker couldn't do it, right? So I'm gonna go Kopylov 3-round decision. I just think his striking is better. Paulo's not that same guy that walks people down anymore. Dude, this guy Paulo went life and death with Luke Rockhold. He had a competitive fight with an out of shape, not hungry 40-year-old fucking Luke Rockhold back in, what was it, 2022? So it's just, I can't go with him, man. I can't go with Costa. Looking at the odds, they make sense to me. Yeah, we'll go Kopylov by unanimous decision. Now, the main event. Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier. So, look, Dustin so far has had his number. He's 2-0 against Max, but dude, I don't think those were super good circumstances. You're talking about Holloway's debut when he was 20 years old. You know, he didn't have the intelligence. He probably thought his shit didn't stink at that time. He underestimated Poirier. He got caught, right? Second fight in 2019 for the interim lightweight belt. Holloway was the featherweight champ. He did it on short notice. He bulked up. He looked real pudgy. Wasn't very durable for the weight because he didn't have time to acclimate. And Poirier was kind of able to outstrength him. His shots they had more impact on him. You know, Holloway landed a good amount of volume, won a few rounds, but ultimately Dustin took 3 out of the 5 rounds. You look at their faces afterwards, and it was clear Dustin just had the much harder, more impactful shots. But, dude, that was 6 years ago, right? We're talking about a Holloway that knocked Justin Gaethje out cold, was winning every round up until that point. Like, you can't give Justin Gaethje 1 round, dude. He was piecing Justin Gaethje up left and right around the octagon, hurting him with most of his shots. He's a lot more dynamic now with his kicks, with his jabs, with his movement. He looks good at lightweight, dude. He's much more durable now. Like, and you look at these guys last like year or two, and it's like, dude, Dustin or Max. Let's start with Max. Max is obviously coming off the. I think it was after Volk that he beat Arnold Allen handedly. Dangerous prospect. Outpointed Arnold Allen. Looked really good in that fight. Obviously, Korean Zombie, whatever, but knocked out Justin Gaethje up at lightweight. Destroyed Justin Gaethje. Absolutely demolished him. Went down and looked pretty damn good against Ilya, dude. Took a round off Ilya. Was looking really, really good in that fight, man. Like, he's still got it. And now I look at Poirier, and it's like, head kick loss to Gaethje. Gaethje. Did I say Gaethje? Gaethje. Head kick loss to Gaethje. Comes back. Is getting dominated by Benoit Saint-Denis in the first round, and then, knocks him out in the second. Don't give me those staff excuses. Benoit's garbage. Right? Look at Benoit since then. That win has not aged very well. Gets destroyed by Islam. No shame in that. You look at Dustin. I don't know, man. I don't feel like he's got that same pop. I don't feel like he's got, since that fight in 2019, I don't feel like he's gotten a crazy amount better. Whereas I feel like Holloway is a lot different. He's much more mobile. He's much more active. He kicks a lot more. And dude, that durability, now that he's not like going up on short notice and has time to acclimate, dude, he looked phenomenal against Justin Gaethje. And if you're going Poirier, you're counting on Poirier to be able to hurt him. And to be able to kind of have a replica of a fight that happened back 6 years ago. And those odds are slim, man, to think that he's going to go in there and just damage Holloway, and Holloway's just going to land little pitter-patter shots on him again. Look at the shots he was hitting Gaethje with. broke Gaethje's nose. A lot of those shots were hurting Gaethje. I think a few of them even stumbled him in that fight before he flatlined him, right? I mean, dude, this is a guy that has knockout ability. This is a guy I think people are going to be surprised. Again, I don't know why you would be, because look at the Gaethje fight. Again, that's a top 5 lightweight, and he smoked him. He damaged him. He hurt him multiple times. Right? I think his movement's good enough for him to minimize the damage. You know, I know Dustin's a hard puncher, but I think Holloway has good enough movement. And the biggest difference here is that when Holloway hits back, this time it's going to hurt more. This time, it sounds so simple, but this time it's going to have more impact. It's going to have more impact. You know, he's going to sit into those punches a little more. He's more durable now that he's had time to acclimate at this new weight class. Right? He's going to be moving. He's going to be kicking. The shots are going to hurt Poirier. I know Poirier prides himself in a war, but, like, I think Dustin has slowed down, whereas I think Max hasn't slowed down as much. Max still looks world-class, where Dustin, yeah, Dustin's a top 10 guy probably still, even if he doesn't retire and keeps going. He could probably get another couple wins in maybe the top 10, top 15. Whereas, like, Holloway, you know, there's guys in the top 5 he could beat. There's guys in the top 5 he has beat, right? And I just think Holloway is the fresher fighter. And I think he's going to be able to land on Poirier a lot more than Poirier is going to be able to land on him, ultimately. I think the damage is going to start to pile up on Poirier. I think he's tough enough to not get finished, like Justin Gaethje. I don't know. I'm kind of leaning on Max putting him away early in round 4 or 5, like Justin. I'm kind of leaning on that. I think he's going to hurt Dustin in this fight multiple times. Like, I really do. Since he's bulked up to this weight, this is a completely different monster that Dustin Poirier is fighting this time. Completely different. So, yeah. I'm going to stay with Max Holloway. We'll go unanimous decision. I think Poirier will have his moments. I think he'll definitely have his moments. He's a tough guy. It's his last fight. He's going to leave it all on the table. But I just think ultimately Holloway is just going to be the better guy. I think he's more dynamic on the feet now. He's more dynamic. He's more well-rounded. Better kicking game. Better distance management game than Poirier. Plus, like, you know, I know Dustin likes to get in the fire and move forward a lot, get in the pocket and throw. Dude, Holloway, like, I don't think people realize, when you try to press Holloway, he gets fucking nasty. I mean, you look at, like, Ricardo Lamas. You look at Arnold Allen towards the end of the fight when he just decided he was going to try to punk Max Holloway and start throwing hands with him. And Max Holloway dropped him down to his knee and was standing over him. Like, dude, pressing him might not be the best thing for Dustin Poirier, which is why there is a potential for him to be finished in this fight. I'd like to think Dustin's more intelligent than that. I'm sure he is. I mean, he is a legend. Let's be honest. Dustin Poirier, future Hall of Famer, absolute legend. I just don't see him putting Holloway in any dangerous position in this fight. I think Holloway has the ability to control the distance, kick, jab, pop in with a slick 1-2, pop out. And if Poirier tries to press him, yeah, he might land a couple good ones. But, dude, you're risking getting knocked the fuck out or getting caught. Every time you see these guys try to get in the fire with Holloway in the pocket, they get dropped or they get slept. Right? Or they get thoroughly outstruck. So, I think that's one of Poirier's strongest weapons is his ability to get in there and land and bully guys and just, you know, get in close, get in tight, throw some elbows, throw some heavy punches, and I don't think that shit's going to work against Holloway. I really don't. Look for Holloway to hurt him in that kind of a scenario. So, I think Holloway's going to I don't know about I think he's going to outclass him. I do. I think he's going to outclass him. It's not going to be like Justin Gaethje level. I still think he's better than Justin Gaethje. I know Gaethje knocked him out. I still think Poirier's better. But I think he's going to get thoroughly outclassed here. And Holloway's going to get the decision. So that's the picks for UFC 318. We will talk to you later. Bye.